Hey everybody, Justice League is all on Netflix, so you can watch it there, or I could just show you all the best moments where our heroes have just straight up killed people.
Today in Nerd History!
The Justice League cartoon's only been off the air for like a decade or so, but it's already a bona fide classic. We can all agree. Not only has the show held up over time, it's actually become the definitive version of these characters for a whole lot of people. As a Cartoon Network show, these versions of the characters firmly held the no-kill rule. Batman in particular is the go-to example of a hero who shows that he's better than the murderous villains, who goes high when they go low, and who never, ever uses guns and then blasts the villain Devil Ray with a pistol so he flies into an electrical panel and gets sizzled. Lucky for Batman, we can conveniently blame spectral superhero Deadman for leaping into Batman's body and actually pulling the trigger. Despite being possessed and Deadman taking the shot actually saving Wonder Woman, Batman still gets really hung up on being forced to use a gun to kill.
Bruce, Deadman took over your body. It wasn't your fault.
Which feels like super ironic considering how many sentient aliens Batman willingly lays waste to later in the series. I mean, he doesn't cut their throat like that exactly, but I mean, almost. In the final episode, Destroyer, Batman shows no qualms blowing up a mess of parademons, whose murderous intentions aren't so different than those of Devil Ray. Superman doesn't seem to mind popping them off one by one either. In fact, the Justice League seems to have a recurring hypocritical problem where they feel totally justified in killing living, thinking beings, just so long as they come from, like, a different planet, which is especially troubling for you, Superman. Explain that one! Check out what Hawkgirl and Wonder Woman do to this alien ship at the end of the very first episode. Yeah, it was evil and otherwise going to invade Earth, but it was also alive. You'd think that a team with several prominent aliens would also acknowledge that, but every member of the team seems to have totally arbitrary personal criteria as to what constitutes murder. The episode, The Darkness Below, Aquaman's evil brother leaves him and his infant child to die. But after managing to cut off his hand to save himself and the baby, he corners his bro in a cliff.
Please, brother, help me!
I believe this is mine.
I mean, goddamn, even Mr. Freeze would say that stuff is cold. As ice. Because he's an ice guy. Arthur's eyes are hard as steel, even when watching his own brother fall to certain doom. There's not even a glimmer of regret there. No mercy. And way on the other opposite end of the spectrum, having too much compassion and mercy actually led Hawkgirl to take a life. Hawkgirl always seemed like she was willing to provide permanent solutions for supervillainy, and she proved that capability in The Return. After a newly resurrected Solomon Grundy rampages mindlessly across the city, Shayera finds her old friend and does what she thinks is best.
Close your eyes.
Every time Grundy comes back, he's a little different, but every iteration of the monster is in agony, missing part of his soul. Being alive is actual torture for this guy. By putting him out of his misery, Hawkgirl is essentially participating in assisted suicide. A little less morally murky is the opening of A Better World, which sees Superman beat down the door of President Lex Luthor after the execution of the Flash. As the Justice League storms the White House, Lex is as calm as ever. He knows how this ends, or at least he thinks he does.
You're as much responsible for this as I am. So go ahead, fix it somehow, put me on trial, lock me up, but I'll beat it. And then we'll start the whole thing all over again.
I did love being a hero, but if this is where it leads, I'm done with it.
Do you smell something?
Batman is pretty sure that he knows what he's smelling. It's the burning flesh of a newly minted corpse. We don't see the fresh body or the corpse itself, but it's clear that Superman finally cut down Lex Luthor. The creepiest part, Superman seems thrilled about the situation.
Are you okay?
I'm great.
Of course, we soon learn that this is actually an alternate timeline, one in which the events that transpired led the evil Justice Lords to rise to power, forgoing their strict no-kill policy in order to rule the world with an iron fist. And, just kind of be jerks who really love to kill. because it's fun, I guess. I don't know. Superman seems to love it. The irony of this episode is earlier in the series, we've already seen our heroes kill after being pushed to the limits of their virtue. Just because Hawkgirl and Aquaman bent or broke the one rule doesn't automatically make them supervillains. The difference between the Justice League and the Justice Lords isn't as simple as who kills and who doesn't, but who recognizes the tremendous responsibility and weight of terminating a living person.
I knew you wouldn't be able to change his mind,
Yeah? How?
because I've felt the same temptations he has. They're pretty strong.
The inner struggle and how we see it play out is a large part of what makes Justice League a bona fide classic, which is what I called it earlier. I'm coining that now. It's a bona fide classic. We all agree.